wherever you are right now. Maybe walking under a soft morning sky, maybe curled up after a long day. Take a slow, steady breath. Feel your shoulders drop. Let your thoughts find a quieter place to rest. And welcome. I'm Evie. This is more than just a moment to listen. It's a space where your heart can reflect and your English can grow, gently and without rush. Every sentence you hear today is real, emotional language you can carry into your own life. Today, we'll talk about 3 simple words that can quietly shift the way you see yourself. I will win. To some, they might sound bold, maybe even unrealistic. But here, they're not about applause or trophies. They're about a private strength, the kind that holds you together when nothing else seems to. I remember a time when life felt like a hallway of locked doors. My ideas stalled. My work went unnoticed. The people around me seemed to race ahead while I stood still, invisible. I didn't feel strong. I didn't feel capable. I didn't feel like I was winning at anything. Then, one quiet night, alone with my journal, I wrote them down. I will win. Not from confidence, not from certainty, but from the need to hold on to something when everything else felt like it was slipping away. Those words didn't change my situation in an instant, but they started to change me. And when you shift on the inside, the outside eventually follows. So, as we begin, keep this close. Your mindset is already shaping your life, even before the visible change begins. And maybe, just maybe, these 3 words can start shaping yours today. Have you noticed how your mind is always making quiet predictions? I'll probably mess this up. This won't work. I'm just not that kind of person. These thoughts slip in like background music, unnoticed, but setting the entire mood of your life. Each one is like a brick, and without realizing it, you start building the walls you live inside. But what if you changed the forecast? What if, before the day even begins, you whispered to yourself, I will figure it out. I don't know how yet, but I will grow from this. I will win, in my own quiet way. This isn't lying to yourself. This is giving your heart a direction. Here's why it matters. Your brain listens to the stories you tell. It constantly scans the world, looking for proof to support your thoughts. If you believe you're going to fail, your mind will find reasons to stop early. But if you hold, even gently, to the belief that you're still growing, your brain will start spotting the small victories you never noticed before. Maybe you're not where you want to be yet. That's okay. You're still learning. You're still in the story. And the story isn't over. I will win doesn't have to be a battle cry. It can be a seed, planted deep in the soil of your effort. And with patience, with care, with practice, it will grow. There's a moment, quiet, almost invisible, that happens before you try something new. Your heart leans forward, curious, but then your mind pulls you back. What if I fail? What if I look foolish? What if I'm not good enough? Doubt doesn't knock. It just walks in, drops its bag on the couch, and makes itself at home. Belief, on the other hand, is softer. It waits outside until you invite it in. And too often, we don't, because the voice of doubt feels familiar. But if you listen closely, you'll hear that it's not even yours. It's the teacher who once said you'd never be great at something. It's the friend who laughed when you shared your dream. It's society whispering that people like you don't get to win. Over time, those voices merge with your own. You repeat them without noticing. You shrink to fit their limits. But belief, real belief, begins the moment you talk back. I hear you, you tell that voice,
but I'm not living inside your fears anymore. I remember wanting to start a project that felt deeply personal. I was ready until the noise came. What if no one cares? What if I embarrass myself? I almost listened, almost walked away before I even began. Then one quiet thought came. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to believe more than you doubt. So I made a deal with myself to act as if belief was already true, even when I didn't fully feel it. And the more I acted, the more it became real. Doubt is a story. Belief is a decision. And your actions reveal which one you've chosen. Your inner voice is with you more than anyone else. It wakes up when you do. It walks beside you through every moment, while you work, scroll, rest, or dream. It comments on how you look, how you perform, how you compare, how you recover from mistakes. And for many of us, that voice is harsh. It rushes to judge. It ignores progress. It circles flaws like a hawk over prey. Sometimes it calls you lazy before you've even gotten out of bed. If another person spoke to you the way your inner voice does, would you call them a friend? Probably not. And yet, we let that voice run wild, convincing ourselves it's just being realistic. But really, it's just untrained. Here's the truth. You can retrain it, one sentence at a time. You don't need to wait until you feel better to speak better to yourself. The kindness comes first, and the feeling follows. It can be as small as, this is hard, but I'm still trying. I showed up today, and that matters. I don't need to prove my worth to deserve rest. One small step is still a step. These aren't empty affirmations. They're rewrites, shifting your emotional posture, reminding your nervous system, I am safe. I am growing. I am enough. Even if you don't believe the words fully at first, repetition plants them deeper. Your brain learns from the tone you feed it. And slowly, your actions start to match the new story. I've seen it with English learners who once said, I'm too old. I forget everything. I didn't argue. I just asked, what if that's not the whole story? Over time, they began to say, I don't remember everything, but I'm improving. I'm proud I didn't give up today. Their progress didn't come from a perfect study plan. It came from a kinder relationship with themselves. You don't have to shout, I will win, into the mirror every morning, but you do need to interrupt the voice that says you're not allowed to try. One better sentence a day. That's where quiet power begins. No matter how strong your mindset is, life will still test you. Plans will unravel, people will walk away. Effort won't always be rewarded in the way you hoped. And when that happens, the mind whispers, see, I told you it wouldn't work. That's the moment most people stop. But here's the shift. Winners don't avoid failure, they absorb it, learn from it, and keep moving. It still hurts, but they don't let the hurt harden their hearts. I remember pouring months into a project I loved. My heart was all in, but when it didn't land the way I hoped, I spiraled. Days of questioning everything. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe people just don't care. Then, after the fog lifted, I asked one question. What did I learn? That question became my rope back to solid ground. I realized I'd ignored my gut. I'd chased speed instead of depth. I'd tried to impress instead of connect. And strangely, that failure taught me more than any success had. From then on, I carried the new sentence. I didn't lose, I learned. You can do the same. Instead of I failed, try I found out what doesn't work for me. Instead of I'm not good at this, try I'm still learning. Instead of they rejected me, try that wasn't my path. Now I'm free to find the right one. One voice closes your heart, the other keeps it open. And here's the truth. Most overnight successes are built on a trail of quiet failures. They just kept walking. They refined instead of retreating. They chose the lesson over the shame. You are not defined by your worst day. You are not broken beyond repair. You are becoming. And the messiness? That's part of the beauty. What does it really mean to win? For some, it's applause. For others, a title or a number on a screen. But for many of us, winning is quieter. It's that moment when you realize you no longer need to prove yourself. You're still working hard, but not to impress. You're still growing, but not for approval. You're doing it for you. That's quiet confidence, and it's stronger than it looks. It doesn't shout, "Look at me." It simply says, "I know who I am. I know where I'm going. I don't need to rush." In a world that moves fast, the strongest presence is often the one who speaks less, yet is still felt. When you trust your own path, you choose differently. You protect your energy. You keep promises to yourself. You stop measuring your worth against someone else's highlight reel. And you understand the win was never about attention. It was about alignment. Are you living in a way that honors your values? Are you proud of how you treat yourself when no one is watching? You don't have to post every step. You don't have to explain your dreams to those who can't see them. Just grow, quietly, steadily, deeply. Some will underestimate you because you're silent. Let them. In time, they'll feel the weight of what you've built, brick by quiet brick. This is how "I will win" becomes real, not through sudden miracles, but through patience, discipline, and trust. Whispered into the silence long before anyone believed it, and then lived, gently, powerfully, without apology. So don't fear moving in silence. Don't fear taking your time. Your win doesn't need to be loud to be true, and you don't need to explain it to anyone, but yourself. Take this with you today. You are not trapped by old thoughts. You are free to think new ones. And with every better thought, you begin a better life. One thought at a time, you will win.